Are you a reactor or an attacker? Do you allow the world to cuck you, or are you the one doing the cucking? You can't have it both ways. You can either be at the utter mercy of the environment around you, or you can be the one who's in control. Again, you can either react or attack. You can wait for the world to happen to you and then choose how you respond if you even can and you're not just swept away with your emotions. Or you can start each day with a rock solid routine, a process you can follow so that you can be the one doing the assault. And that's exactly why I have my morning process, my routine that puts me into a higher frequency, higher state of flow, and allows me to rise each day and know that I'm the one doing the attacking. And yet, sometimes, just sometimes, it's not quite enough. You see, the morning process is a very good indicator about how the rest of the day will go. If you're foggy, you're tired, and you flop your way through your morning routine, you're probably going to spend the rest of the day that way. But the morning routine is also a very good chance to shake that up, interrupt the pattern, and save the rest of your day. But let me tell you, today has been incredibly slow, sluggish, a little bit retarded on my end, simply because all of the overreaching that I did last week has caught up to me. I got a good 8 hours of sleep last night, and I literally knocked out for 10 hours the night before, but I'm still a little groggy, still a little under-recovered, and that's to be expected. But I got to tell you, if it wasn't for my morning process, today would have ended up so much worse, like a brain that doesn't have any grey matter, but rather some spaghetti bolognese. So obviously the morning process starts straight away with a cold shower, because it gives you that jolt to start the day, to invigorate you, to reduce some of the inflammation from the night before. And then what I do is I go downstairs and I do some posing because it's relevant to my current goals. Then I go outside immediately and do the horse stance, which puts me in a state of pain, but also allows me to practice stillness and presence. And after that, I hobble along on my morning walk, which is very short, very sweet, but allows me to further be present and still and enjoy this beautiful nature. And then I can start assaulting the day with more vigor, because today I'm working only one job. And so I begin with a beautiful, nutritious breakfast of eggs and berries. Super, super dense in micronutrients, full of protein, full of healthy fats, an all-round banger. And so the breakfast fueled another day of making my slave masters and my bank account happy before allowing me to come and attack with vigor and intensity for yet another shoulder and arm day, aka the best day of the week. You already know how it goes if you've seen it last week. The program isn't going to randomly change because of my impulsive monkey brain. No, we're going to keep it the same. Opening with 3 hard sets of face pulls, which is just a beautiful, beautiful way to open the day, because it gets the rear delts nice and fired up, which allows a lot more shoulder stability for the presses that I have to come. Plus, the rear delts are always a weak point. No matter how developed they are, you can never overdevelop your rear delts. And when they're fresh is the perfect time to train them. So once the face balls are done, it's time for the main press, which is the standard seated overhead press with a barbell. Originally, it was down as the Smith machine press, which is a fantastic option, but not when your gym's Smith machine has all kinds of weird friction and feels like you're trying to go in when it's dry, if you know what I mean. But yeah, today hit the working weight I did last week, but for one less rep, which is absolutely to be expected when deep in a cut. So regressive underload was achieved. I did do 2 sets of the overhead press and strip the weight back down for the next one. Then it's time for my favorite upper body exercise, or one of them anyway, aka the dip. And just like last week, I'm not adding any weight for this session because I'm focusing on really pristine form, going nice and slow, adding a little pause, and then smashing my way back to the top. And let me say that this absolutely rips the pecs apart. However, for the next 2 sets, I decided just to crank them out, and I got more than double the reps on the next set. So that was that. More volume for the shoulders, the chest, and the triceps before jumping into the incline dumbbell curl, which is just an absolute goat of a bicep movement. It doesn't really have to be explained, does it? You take some weights and you frickin' bend your arm. No overcomplicated science nerdiness needed. But here is just another example of how disgustingly veiny you can look when you're lean with a pump. And if you look at my face and the demonic exorcism that's going on, you can see just how hard you need to train. It doesn't matter if you're on a cut, you're depleted. This is the time where you actually should be training the hardest so that you can preserve the muscle that you've worked so hard to build. So I do 3 sets of the curl with just 1 minute of rest in between. And then it's time for the lateral raise, which should have been before the curl. However, due to every single cable machine being used, I decided not to wait around with my finger up my arse like a lemon. I decided to just rearrange the order a little bit. And because the rest of the workout is only isolation exercises, that's absolutely no big deal. But like I said already in the last week's exercise, this is a fantastic movement. So stable, so grindable. So I do 3 sets of that, and then it's time for the final superset of the day, which is the only superset of the day, because that's the program, right? I used to do nothing but supersets in my training. I used to believe genuinely that if I was doing just one exercise and resting and not doing anything in between, that I was wasting time, when that couldn't be further from the truth. It actually allows you to stay a lot more focused in the zone when you do it that way. And honestly, the time you'll save is not that much. Believe me, I've tried it both ways. And at some point, I may come back to the superset approach because I enjoy it, but there's nothing vastly superior about doing it. But anyway, the first exercise of this superset is the cable curl. Very simply put, just a bicep hammering isolation. veins looking crazy. Which is then followed up immediately, no rest, with the overhead tricep extension. And I must add that this is just the first set of this exercise I did, but on the last set, I finally feel like I unlocked a new form that truly feels like that's what my triceps needed this whole time. And next time I do it, I'll show you, but essentially it's not bringing my elbows out like this, it's keeping them tucked and bringing only my arms back and not doing this whole, flaring out movement, which is still fine, but my triceps felt different after the new way I tried it. Well, now the intense, fun part of the workout is complete. It's time for the boring, mundane stuff, the cardio. And this is not the kind of cardio that I'm inclined towards, the intense, mindset-pushing cardio that, putting some weight in a backpack and stepping onto the Stairmaster type of cardio that pushes you to the very edge of destruction and suffering. But this is literally just for expenditure because coach said so. It's part of the plan and it's a useful tool. This boring incline treadmill walk at a measly 3.5 kilometers an hour is all just a part of the process. And while I'm here, it's actually an amazing opportunity to do some speaking, to do some editing, to do some phone tapping that I would otherwise be too busy for or not have enough time for. So there's always a blessing in everything. There's a blessing in the boring, there's a blessing in the intense. You just gotta use each tool with intention. So just a little wrap up of the day now that we're back home. Gone on a beautiful walk again after demolishing the post-workout meal. Today has been very lethargic and sleepy. Number one, because I was so sleep deprived last week that even after 2 solid nights of very long sleep, I still haven't yet fully caught up. Another reason is because these past 2 days, no caffeine was consumed. And towards the end of last week, man, I'm telling you, I was going absolutely haywire on the caffeine in the hopes that it would keep me awake. Spoiler alert, that doesn't work. Caffeine is only a magnifier. It can amplify whatever's going on in your head. Chaos plus caffeine equals 100x chaos beyond your wildest nightmares. And sleep deprivation times caffeine equals tired but wired. It's a very unpleasant feeling and it doesn't help you be more effective. I promise you that. I still did it anyway because I'm a buffoon, clearly. However, it was not a good idea because I completely burned out my adrenal system, my dopamine system. Man, it just it just wasn't a good idea. But lessons have been learnt from last week. Number one, I have what it takes to truly apply a lot of effort. If and when I need to, I can work 2 jobs, still train, still record YouTube videos, all in the same day. Yes, my performance in everything suffers because I'm trying to do too many things at once, but at least I know that I'm capable of getting it done. Lesson number 2, priorities, man. whatever season of life you're in at the moment, go all in and don't fart around trying to have way too many fingers in too many different pies. So that's lesson number 2. Final lesson, sleep is important when you're driving all day and doing a contest prep. I still believe firmly in my heart that a little bit of sleep deprivation here and there is okay when you're a young, ambitious man on the grind and there's a lot of work to do. But again, bringing this back to what season of life you're in, sometimes it shouldn't be sacrificed because it's dangerous to you, dangerous to the people around you, and all in all, just a complete detriment to your goals, which has been the case. I firmly believe in my heart of hearts that my physique would be looking a lot crazier by the end of this week had I slept and recovered effectively. But hey, that's only theory. There's only one way to find out, right? Do it again this week, but actually prioritize your sleep. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'll report back to you how it goes tomorrow, bro. I'll see you then.